We've all been waiting for it for a long time. It's getting close to complete sunset here, but this should be a fantastic way to finish the day. Owen Wright, one of the front runners for the world title in 2015. Dane Reynolds, well, he's been the most dangerous wildcard here in the past. Let's see how he goes against this man. Owen Wright getting this wave during the break.
Two different ways to cook dinner for sure in this heat. Owen Wright surfs so different from Dane Reynolds. You know, obviously he's a goofy footer, but you know, his style much more syrupy and smooth, whereas Dane Reynolds always on attack. Holy smokes, and that was a crazy maneuver to go for right there. Huge, steep, fast section. Dane could not resist. He went to nail it, but got there way too late.
And back to live action now, so those scores starting to roll in. Owen had a 6, Dane a 4.67, and here goes Owen Wright again. A big first turn, throwing his board completely vertical, and a couple of big maneuvers to follow as he brings this one right through to the inside. And he is fired up. You can tell a solid finish, and a bit of a no-claim there as Dane takes off behind him, doesn't complete that maneuver. Now we're seeing two of the most exciting surfers on the planet fight it out for a spot in round 4, the last spot, and here's the replay of Owen's last ride. That first turn was mind-blowing.
You gotta be kidding me. 12 o'clock approach on that first turn. You talk about commitment, and the judges absolutely love it when you commit to a big, hefty turn on your very first maneuver of the wave. So connecting on all accounts there, you just tick every box of the criteria for the avatar. Owen Wright easily stealing the momentum right away in this heat, putting some pressure on Dane, and that's what you got to do to Dane Reynolds. He's a very, you know, he swings with emotion. I think, you know, if he feels like the door is open, then he pounces. But if you steal that thunder from Dane right away, that's when he buckles.
Well, let's hope he doesn't buckle, because Owen is about to put a big number on the board. Just a complete display of power. Great mix-up of manoeuvres on that last ride, and the score comes through at an 8.83 for the Australian. And Reynolds, he's already chasing a two-wave total of 14.84, but there is so much time on the clock.
You know, Dane's very experienced in the shaping room and loves design and loves surfboards, and he's up and riding right now.
Here he goes, driving into that first turn, raw power on display, but it's the only manoeuvre he's going to get out of that ride. Just under 22 minutes to go, and Reynolds is going to kick out, but love it. He looks sharp. He looks like he's ready to go. Just give him a couple more sections and he'll put a big number on the board. You know, conservationists and environmentalists, people who look after animals as well, and this is the first time he's kind of looked to set off some people who need it. But here is a huge turn. Love that replay.
The one thing that makes me personally such a big fan of Dane Reynolds is he has that awkward, humble humility like Tom Curran had, where he doesn't go out there and claim himself, and it just makes you want to back him because...
Well, that was a three-man heat, of course. Just over 20 minutes to go, and Reynolds, he gets a 3.5 for that single maneuver. Beautiful turn. We're always talking about that raw style that he has, that unpredictability.
I think he's going to relish this moment and want to beat Dane Reynolds, and obviously he's done it before, as we see a little bit of a priority change here. Owen Wright took a more than a decent look at that wave, and so there you go. You saw that piece switch right over to Dane Reynolds' name, and now he's got priority.
Thank you, Chelsea. Matt Wilkinson, an important heat win. Looking super relaxed and charged up, but here we go. With just over 15 and a half minutes to go, Dane Reynolds taps into a ride, drifts the fins. Maybe a slightly longer recovery than he wanted, but still, every time he stood up, he's given us something exciting to watch, but he needs to link a couple of moves together if he's going to overcome Owen Wright here. Well, he is chasing down a two-wave combination. Two-wave total of 14.84, just on 13 minutes to go. Here he goes. Beautiful fins-free snap to get started. Getting some speed down the line as he digs into this big layback jam. Buries the rail for a moment, but pulls it out and whacks a couple more turns into the mix. It's the first time he's really been able to link a couple of turns together. Just under 13 minutes to go. How do you think that one will factor into the heat, Ross?
I think it was good. You know, I think that's grabbing that rail. But the cool thing, the reason why it's so exciting is he does it with power.
And so far this afternoon, it's been a good one for the goofy footers. As we see Owen up once again, looking to improve on a 6-point ride here. Drives off the bottom, gets that board vertical, drifts the tail for a moment. Beautiful light shining through. As I said, a good afternoon for the goofy footers, potentially a great one for them if Owen can win through over Dane Reynolds.
The technique on the backside, you can do that a little easier. On the front side, these guys are having to find more rail and trying to find down the line speed. So I think we just saw Dane, he got a really great wave and he had some open face to work with. It was a smaller wave, but he definitely did a bunch of different turns on it. So that's what I'm watching right now is Owen Wright on the backside getting more out of it. And Dane's wave down the line, a lot of open face turns, and he's getting what he needs out of these smaller wave, but he's definitely needing to get above the lip more. I feel like the judges are going to want to see a little bit more board above the lip, a little more fin wafts, and just really kind of attacking the more vertical surfing.
And maybe that rail approach can be a point of difference to Owen, who's sort of surfing in the pocket and drifting that tail.
Yeah.
We've seen John rack up some pretty big numbers with the calves.
Yeah, and it's, well, here we go, Dane.
Well, here he goes. He's getting as much speed as possible before taking to the air. Launches out of the pocket but can't complete the rotation. Just over 9.5 minutes to go.
We'll try and see where he went wrong. Watch as he grabs a rail, as he flings the tail around, trying to control that board, but just couldn't reconnect with the wall. So kind of an awkward place to re-enter the face of the wave there, right in that scoopy part of that transition.
His back foot just seemed to lose contact, didn't it? It dropped past the tail pad. And
didn't get enough pop. A lot of times we see Dane Reynolds, when he does his best airs, he is projecting out to the flats.
And look how cautious Owen Wright is. That's a medium-sized wave, but he knows that Dane can convert it into big points. He's going to try and better his position. A couple of great snaps to get started. Floating down the line. Doesn't quite get the last turn. He's looking to improve on a 6. Well, let's have a look at this. A decent-sized wave. Reynolds with priority. He's a little deep to start with, but drives around onto the open face. Clean carve to get started. Another nice arc. And setting up something big now. Plenty of speed. But the wave is going to shut down, and really it was just a little bit too full on to attempt something massive there.
So disappointed. I had my popcorn out. I was just waiting to be so entertained there with that last section, but it did not pan out for Dane.
But he's avoided that 13th place once again. So again, it's nothing worse than 9th place finishes for Fanning, as we see Owen taking off, looking to improve on a 6 still. Gets a little hung up on this first turn. Now he gets a steep wall to work with. He delivers a nice blow to the lip. Has some speed as he moves down the line. Attempts an air reverse but can't ride out. So he's still going to be counting on a 6 and an 8.83. And that might be the opportunity that Dane Reynolds needs. But Reynolds is making a move with 10 seconds. And he is going to take it. He gets to his feet before the hooter. He needs something big here. This is an average size wave. A beautiful hack to get started. Drifts the tail. He's given it everything he's got. But just gets a little hung up on that third maneuver. A little bit of frustration there, but still a great heat, Ross.
I love the energy through that first carve. He ripped into that hack. Beautiful surfing, but just a small wave.
If Dane was surfing for himself, I reckon he probably would have waved the white flag a little bit on that last ride.